Hello, this is Lee. I have many years experience in the risk management industry. I have worked in the industry leaders like PayPal, Chime, and Google for many years. And I served in the Merchant Risk Council Education Committee for years. And I am also a certified fraud examiner. So I have seen and deal with a lot of fraud and scam cases. And in this channel, I'm going to share all my experience with you so that we can know it and learn it. And trust me, sometimes you'll be surprised by how smart and hardworking and detail-oriented those fraudsters are. And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And leave the comments when I start to make no sense. Alright, let's get started. Firstly, let's talk about the history. Then, I will show you how it works, the tricks, and how people would potentially believe it. Then, I'm going to show you some potential ways victims can try to use to get their hard-earned money back. Last but not least, I'm going to give it a scorecard. Alright, let's get started. Today, I'm going to show you how to get free service so merchants would lose millions of dollars in a year. The Referral Incentive Abuse. Firstly, let's talk about history. Referral incentive is nothing but to incentivize the existing customers to convert their connections into the new customers. The history of this kind of referral goes long time ago. According to Vicious article, Referrals Back Then, Today, and in the Future, Julius Caesar introduced the first employee referral program where he offered 1/3 of the soldier's annual pay as the referral bonus, so he can recruit the best soldiers. Nowadays, referral incentive is one of the most powerful tools companies use to acquire new customers. For example, Clear used to offer 2-month free membership if you refer your friends. Of course, as you guessed, the referral incentives attract abusers a lot. Now, let's see how the abuse works. I found online that Getaround, a car-sharing startup, offers referral programs for new hosts and guests. You can find it in the description below. As a host, I can refer up to 4 new guests every month, and both me and the guest will get $20 each time. My thought is, if I can create 4 different accounts to pretend as the guest to rent the car for myself, then I will get $80 free money as the host. Here you go, a typical incentive abuse idea. Now it's the time to do the risk test. Hi, let's test our theory. So Getaround is a car-sharing website just like Turo, where the host can list their cars and the consumer can just rent cars from the host. And I discovered from the Getaround website that as a host that you can refer the new customers, and by sharing your link, you can get 20% off for the guest for their first trip, and the host will get $20 credits. So in order to abuse it, now I'm thinking I can create a fake host account, and then I can rent for myself. So I will get $20 as a host, and as a guest, I will get $20 off for my trip. I will lease the car as $20, and then I don't need to pay anything. I noticed that in the Getaround website, it says, oh, like don't use this to rent from yourself, but let's test their theory. And the idea, as I showed, is basically as a host, I will get $20, and as a guest, which is myself as well, I will get $20 off. So if I lease the car as $30, then my net earning is 20 plus 20 minus 30, which is $10.
and it has a monthly limit of 4. So that means my monthly earning per account is $40. So if I can succeed in one account, then I can scale later. So let's test if this theory works. So the first thing we need to do is basically to create a host account. So just share the card here, and the information is here. So they're asking for some information. So I just put some random information. So let's say my first name is Troy, and last name is Scam. And my email address is testing if it works at gmail.com. And the phone number is basically I can get an online number for very cheap price. So it's just a random number. And how many cards do I have? I have 1. And next, oh, so it has some additional questions. Which year of the card? Since it's a fake account, I just randomly put some information. And at which area, so I just put a random place, Chicago, which zip code, let's put a random number here. And how do I hear about Get Around? Google Ads. So it asked me to submit. So by click submitting, I will agree to the user terminologies. Okay, now it's the risk test to see if they allow me to create a fake account easily. And let's test it. Oh, so it says, thank you for your submission. And the next step is basically to sign up my card. I can put a name, which is easy to do. And the next one is schedule an appointment with their onboarding team. So it seems like they're going to ask me to schedule an appointment with a local get-around insurance partner. So that means there's some manual review process there. So it seems like it's maybe a little bit hard for me to create a fake account. That's at least they're doing something to stop me from creating a fake account. Okay, so the test is kind of fail here. It's because it's not easy for me to create a fake host account and then I can get credits. So in this case, the abuse attempt actually fails.
Now let's see the smartness and professionalism of the abusers. As you can see, the trick is very simple. Find the target and the scale. Firstly, abusers will look for the targets. This abuse can be easily achieved if the merchant doesn't have any effective risk system set up. They will do some tests like the one I showed. Once they confirm the target, the next step is to scale. Abusers would create a lot of accounts to take fully advantage of the incentives the merchant offers. The merchant may be very happy that 100 new accounts are created today, but actually that 100 new accounts are all owned by the abusers, and they got all the associated referral incentives the merchant offers. You may wonder how easy it is to create accounts, and I can assure you there are many ways to create accounts in bulk in a very cheap way. Another factor is sometimes companies overlook the risk. Some campaigns rolled out without any risk designs. Next, let's see how we can avoid it. The idea is very simple. Risk controls need to be placed. The control can be based on things like velocity, account linkage, cluster control, the trust devices. The idea is to make it hard for scale, and we want to prevent the scale abuse from happening, because it's very hard for the companies to recover money once the abuse has happened. Alright, now we know the incentive abuse. It's the time to give it a risk score. Let's start with the fraud design. The abuse idea is quite simple, so it gets a 2 out of 10. The creativity is okay. Sometimes you need some creative ideas to scale, so it gets a 3 out of 10. The scalability is great. once they found a loophole, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Next, let's look at the impact section. The damage of the referral incentive abuse is high. It reduces the company's revenue and damages the marketing spending, so it gets a 6 out of 10. For the recovery hardness, as we explained before, once it happened, merchants basically have no way to recover the money, so it gets a 9 out of 10. That brings the total risk score to 27 out of 50. You can find it here. Alright, that's everything we have for the referral incentive abuse. The fraud never stops, but life goes on and there are a lot of nice things we can enjoy. Thank you again for watching. Have a good day. This is Lee. I have many years experience in the risk management industry. I have worked in the industry leaders like PayPal, Chime, and Google for many years.